You know this story. The 12 labors, the lion skin, the club, the greatest hero of the ancient world, the man so strong he held up the sky, the demigod whose heroic deeds filled 1,000 stories and whose name became the word for extraordinary effort. Hercules, the son of Zeus, the champion of humanity, the hero who overcame every obstacle, defeated every monster, completed every impossible task. You know it like this. Hercules is the greatest of all Greek heroes, born with divine strength as the son of Zeus and the mortal Alcmene. He grows to become the greatest warrior of his age. He completes the 12 labors, tasks assigned by King Eurystheus, and through them earns immortality on Olympus. The story of the hero who never stopped fighting. That is the story the tradition tells. The hero's journey, the triumph of strength and will. Now let me tell you what that story leaves out. What was done to Hercules before the labors began, what caused them, and what it means that the greatest hero in Greek mythology spent his entire life being punished for something that was not his fault. Hera drove him mad. He killed his own family while he was not himself, and then was ordered to serve the man he despised as punishment for it. Hera hated Hercules before he was born. Zeus had fathered many children with mortal women. This was the pattern of Greek divine behavior, and Hera's rage at Zeus's infidelities was a constant of the mythology. But Hercules was different. He was destined to be the greatest hero of his age. Zeus had announced this, and Hera was determined that this should not happen. She began before his birth. She delayed his delivery so that a lesser child would be born first and receive the greatness Zeus had promised. She sent serpents to kill him in his cradle. The infant Hercules strangled them with his bare hands. She persecuted him throughout his childhood and youth. Hercules had done nothing to earn this. His crime was being born, being the son his father loved, being what he was made to be. When Hercules was an adult, married to Megara, the father of children, at his most settled, his most human, Hera sent madness upon him. The Greek word is Lyssa, divine madness, the kind sent by a god as a weapon. It was not a breakdown. It was not illness. It was a specific divine act directed at a specific person to cause maximum harm. In his madness, Hercules killed his children. He killed Megara. He came back to himself standing among the bodies of his family. The tradition presents the 12 labors as a hero's journey, 12 impossible tasks completed through courage and strength, the proving of the greatest hero, the road to immortality. This is not what they were. Hercules went to the oracle at Delphi to ask how he could atone for what had happened to his family. The oracle told him to serve King Eurystheus of Tiryns for 12 years and complete whatever tasks were set for him. King Eurystheus was the man who had taken the greatness Zeus had promised Hercules, the lesser child born first because of Hera's intervention. He was Hercules' inferior in every meaningful sense. He was also, in the mythology, a coward. The image of Eurystheus hiding in a large storage jar when Hercules brought him the Erymanthian boar alive is one of the comedy moments of Greek myth. The weak king, terrified of the impossible creature his servant had actually captured. Hercules served him for 12 years anyway. These were not chosen adventures. They were penance. They were the price he was required to pay by the gods, through the oracle, under the direction of a lesser man, for crimes he committed while a goddess had taken his mind. He was being punished for what was done to him. The Nemean Lion, the Lernaean Hydra, the Erymanthian Boar, the Ceryneian Hind, the Stymphalian birds, the Ogean stables, the Cretan bull, the mares of Diomedes, the belt of Hippolyta, the cattle of Geryon, the apples of the Hesperides, the hound of Hades. 12 tasks, each of them designed to be impossible, each of them assigned by a man who wanted Hercules dead or broken. Eurystheus did not set the labors to honor Hercules. He set them hoping Hercules would fail. When Hercules cleaned the Ogean stables by diverting a river through them, an act of genuine genius, not just brute strength, Eurystheus refused to count it as a completed labor because Hercules had received payment. When Hercules killed the Lernaean Hydra with help, Eurystheus refused to count that one either. The rules changed when Hercules succeeded. So what should have been 12 labors became 14, and then more as additional tasks were added to replace the ones Eurystheus had disqualified. Throughout all of them, Hera continued to interfere. She sent obstacles, she sent enemies, she sent the gods against him, the greatest hero of his age, performing the most dangerous tasks in the ancient world, was doing so while the Queen of Heaven worked against him. And he completed every task, not because he wanted glory, because he was trying to pay a debt for something he had not chosen to do. The popular versions of Hercules spend almost no time on what happened after Megara and his children died. The madness is a paragraph. The killing is off stage. The grief is skipped. Euripides does not skip it. In Euripides's play Heracles, one of the most psychologically devastating works in ancient drama, we see Hercules return from completing the 12 labors. He has saved his family from a tyrant who threatened them in his absence. He is at his finest moment. Everything has worked out. And then Hera sends Lyssa, the goddess of madness, and he loses his mind and kills his family in front of the audience. When he comes back to himself, he wants to die. It is his friend Theseus who talks him out of it, who says, "You are a mortal. Mortals suffer. You have suffered more than any mortal should, but you are still Heracles. Come to Athens. Live." Euripides' Hercules does not march off to complete 12 more labors. He is led away by a friend, leaning on him, barely able to walk, the greatest hero of the ancient world, reduced to needing someone to hold him up. This is the Hercules the Disney version does not show you. The one who could not save his family, the one who had to be held up by a friend. After the labors were complete, Hercules lived more adventures, married again to Deianira, and had more children, but the mythology does not allow him peace for long. Deianira, believing she was using a love potion to win back Hercules' affection, gave him a robe smeared with the blood of the centaur Nessus. Nessus had told her before he died that his blood would act as a love charm. It was a lie. His blood was poisoned with the Hydra's venom from Hercules' own arrow. The robe burned into Hercules' skin. The poison of the Hydra, the monster he had killed as one of his labors, was destroying him from the outside in. He could not remove the robe without tearing away his own flesh. Hercules had killed the Hydra killed him. The weapon he had made, the monster he had defeated, the labor he had completed, everything came back. He could not die quickly. The pain was too great to be survived, but not enough to kill him immediately. He was Hercules. He built his own funeral pyre on Mount Oeta. He asked those around him to light it. They refused. A man named Philoctetes eventually agreed and received Hercules' bow and arrows as his reward. Hercules chose his own death, the only thing in his life he was ever allowed to choose freely. The story of Hercules has been told for 3,000 years as the story of the greatest hero, the man who could do anything, the template for superhuman achievement, the name we use when something requires extraordinary effort. The actual mythology tells a different story. A man who was persecuted from before his birth for the crime of being born, who was driven mad by a goddess and made to commit the worst act possible, who was then required to spend 12 years serving a lesser man as punishment for that act, who completed every impossible task and was denied credit for some of them, who completed more tasks than were originally required, who was still, at the end, destroyed by his own weapon. There is a reason this resonates so deeply right now. We live in a world full of Herculeses, people who are punished for what was done to them rather than what they chose, who are required to prove themselves over and over again to earn back what should never have been taken, whose achievements are disqualified when the rules change after they succeed, who cannot put anything down because they are never allowed to stop. Hercules never got to choose his life. He got to choose his death. He built the pyre himself. He climbed onto it. He asked for fire. And in the smoke of that fire, the mythology says, Zeus finally took him to Olympus. The suffering was over. He was finally home. He was the greatest hero of the ancient world. He never got to rest. He built his own pyre and called it done. Every wall holds a story. Some walls were built around a man who never got to choose what was inside them.